Hey, and welcome to this short tutorial on Jacoco. Jacoco stands for Java Code Coverage. It's a tool to measure code coverage in Java projects. Code coverage basically means how many lines of your code is being covered by testing. Let's jump straight into the code to see it in action. Here I have a greeting service interface, which has a method sayHello. SayHello is supposed to say hello to the given name, and if the name is empty, it's supposed to throw an exception. Let's look at the implementation. The implementation is as per the documentation. There is no test for this class on purpose. Let's now integrate Jacoco into our project. To do that, you need to open your pom.xml and jump into the plugin section. In your plugin section, you need to add the following plugin. After that, you can save your file and move over to your console. In your console, you need to run your maven clean install command as usual. Once the command finishes successfully, you can see that some jacoco.exec file was created. This file is not meant for humans to read. It is supposed to be read by tools like SonarQube, which can then present you with a report of your code coverage. But we have another tool handy. What we can do now is run the command maven jacoco report. This will create a human readable report for us. Let's move on to our folder structure to see how it looks like. Here I am in the target folder of my project. There's a new folder called site. If you go in there, you have another folder Jacoco, and if you're in there, there are some existing files. All you need to do now is to double click on index.html and it will open the report for you. The report is self-explanatory. As you can see in my package service, I have a greeting service impl class which has a code coverage of 0%, which is obviously true because we did not write a test. Let's go ahead and change that. Here I have written a very simple greeting service test class where I pass the name Josh and then expect that it says back hello Josh to me. We can now run the maven clean install and maven jacoco report goal to generate our report again. After running the maven command, let's move over to the browser. Let's refresh and see if something has changed. As you can see, in my package service, the greeting service impl has changed from completely red to being red and a little bit green. The color green and the third column coverage means that the constructor has been tested completely, that it has been invoked in some kind of a test, but the method sayHello has only been tested 54%. Let's click on the method. We can see here three different colors: green, yellow and red. Yellow means that it's been tested partially, red means it has not been tested at all, and the green means that this line of code has been tested. Which makes complete sense here because the name that we passed in our test was not blank. That means that the test never went into the line number 10. Let's go and change that by writing another test. Back in my IDE, I have added another test where I pass in an empty parameter and then I expect an exception to be thrown. I even go and then compare the message with the thrown exception. With this, we can now run our maven command and then move over to our browser. We're back in the browser. Let's refresh to see if the code coverage of our greeting service impl class has changed. And voila, you can see that every single line of code has been covered by some test. Let's go back to the main page and see that my service package is completely tested, but not the main package where my Jacoco application class is there. Which is okay because this is my Spring Boot application class which really doesn't need to be tested. So let's look at how to exclude some classes from Jacoco code coverage report. The method to exclude certain classes from Jacoco code coverage report is by adding a configuration section in the plugin section where we added the Jacoco plugin. Let's do that right here. Now we have a configuration where we exclude all files which have this particular pattern. Please note that this pattern supports wildcards. Once we have done that, we can again run our maven command and then let's check out in the browser what happens. I have now run my maven command. Let's refresh this window and see how it looks like. And you can see that the particular class is now excluded from the Jacoco report. That brings us to the end of this short tutorial on Jacoco. As you can see, it's a small but powerful tool to tell you about the quality of your code and the coverage you're testing. I can highly recommend you to use Jacoco in your project. But I would like to insist that just because you have 100% code coverage, that doesn't mean that it is effective testing. You still have to write good tests. That's it for today. Thank you. Until next time.